Cool. So it is day 6. So we've got 69 days to go. I don't have too much of an update today. Again, it's another late one, but today was pretty hellish. Conversation for another day. I just need to optimize and basically just find someone to. I need another writer, pretty much. So anyway, let's just go through the KPIs. So don't have like much growth. Still haven't really updated this. I'm just focusing on the inputs just now. Like, I will record this. Followed up on that lead from the other day with samples, and yeah, I mean, today I posted this reintroduction post again, just explaining who I am, what I did, the growth from one just now. Mentioned this challenge, some things I'm super proud of, and then again just like more signposting, like showing how I made this work. So I think one thing I wanted to raise on this, I'll probably do a video at some point on like how to write introduction posts. But I have seen people comment about how their posts don't have a lot of reach. And I think not every post should get a lot of reach. It doesn't make sense for LinkedIn to show this to, like randoms that I've never met. It makes sense for a post like this to be shown to, second connections, like people, like friends of the people that follow me. That makes sense to me, but beyond that, I don't think it does. This is what I would consider a like post to make more people like me, but you need to know about me first before you can like me. So that's why I don't think it gets a lot of impressions, and I don't think that you create these posts to get lots of impressions. I think you create these posts to turn the people that do know about you into followers, and potentially that's why you have this here, this call to action. Follow me, and then I tag Craig Jewett, just so they can click that button and then follow, right? And they go look at my page, and then they can do their interest and stuff. And I'm fixing my page because I think it needs a lot of work. But one thing I updated was my banner. I updated my tagline. I think it's a little bit abstract. I was trying to just touch on a pain point, but that's the thing. Like, you won't get it right first go every time. You just test it. You just see, have I been getting more profile visits since changing this? What's that resulted in? I have been getting more, but not enough to keep it as is. I think I went away a bit. I tried to get too cute with it, right? So anyway, did this. I still need to do my about us again, and I need to swap these featured image cards out. But I'm not going to do that because I've got a couple of things. I've got a couple of things that I'm bringing out that will replace these, so I'm not in an immediate rush for that. But yeah, that's pretty it. I'm keeping it really short and simple today, because it's 20 to 10 and I want to try and get some sleep so I can try and take control back tomorrow. But I mean, how long have we been recording? Don't think it tells me, does it? 3 minutes. Okay, I probably should go a little bit longer than 3 minutes. Okay, so why don't I explain the different let's speak about feed salience a little. So when you're scrolling through a feed, right, and you only have so much bandwidth in a day, you're not on here looking for anyone in particular. You're just on here looking for something interesting. But there's so much noise that you could be scrolling for ages. So your brain will try and get rid of the stuff that's not interesting. So you're scrolling through and you're looking for like signals. So that's why everyone says the hook's the most important part. But that's like what they say is true. Like, the hook is very important. Like, you need to try and hook someone with this, and then the rehook is also just important, so that when you click this more button, that triggers a micro signal to LinkedIn for a start. It tells LinkedIn that I thought this seemed interesting enough to keep reading, and I'm now putting more dwell time on this post. But if I don't like this post, it's a bad signal, right? Because I've spent all the time reading this. So essentially, like, I think the hook is very important, but feed salience is also extremely important, which is, oh cool, there's Carrie Rose. I know Carrie. Like, I followed her for a few years. let me see what she has to say. And if you think of like what brand salience is, it's when you think of, I need running shoes. So who do you think of? You think of Nike, Adidas. Like, they have brand salience. They come straight to the forefront of your mind. I call this feed salience, where I recognize her. I know who she is, what she's about. She's built up a lot of goodwill. I know her content's good. So when I'm scrolling through looking for something interesting, I stop and read this for like another 4 or 5 seconds than I would have normally. Whereas, no offense, Alice, but I have no idea who Alice is. And then I'll just keep scrolling because I'm not really, I don't know Alice. And then the other thing as well, like, this is stock photography, so I'm not interested. Like, that turns me off. Like, that makes me want to keep scrolling. No idea who Jenny is either, but this is like a pattern interrupt, right? So I am going to stop and read a little bit. But again, like, if I'm scrolling, I wonder who else pops out. So I actually know this Tanya through just seeing her around here a bit. I've commented on a couple of her posts. I know this guy, he's DM'd me before. I know he puts out good content, so also interesting, would read. And then you get the idea, right? So for me, feed salience is very important. It's like, how do you engineer it? So like, there's a good point here. So profile picture, you want to be rememberable, right? So I'm going to get my profile picture redone because I don't like how it looks when it's this small. Whereas if you look at Jules's, right, so this is Jules's here, where my mouse is, you can see that he has this purple gradient. You can clearly see his beard, and he's bald. Like, much easier to remember. You can't see that many like features in mine. Like, I actually kind of blur into it. I'm quite washed out, so I need to fix that too. I really like having the brand color scheme as a gradient behind the head because I think it just helps you associate them. Like this guy too. So I've seen him a lot before. I can recognize him. He has the different color contrast, which is really cool. And I think that's one of the big things that you can do straight away. The second thing you can do to build feed salience is get a really interesting tagline, like stand out. Like, what do you have that makes you different? A lot of people put founder at then their company name, right? But if your company doesn't have, a big following, if people aren't really familiar with your company, like, don't do that. Like this guy here, maybe he is quite well known, but in my space, or at least my world, not a clue who this company is, so I don't find this interesting. Whereas, if it said, just trying to think, give me a random example. If it said something like, oh, okay, cool, so there's like one, CMO Ahrefs, like, I recognize Ahrefs. Who in SEO doesn't know who Ahrefs is? Same with SEMrush. Who doesn't know who SEMrush is, right? So when you see people from those companies like create content, you are going to pause and read. Let's look and see what else, Give us a good one. This Kyle Hunt, recognize him quite a bit. I'll see him around. James Reynolds, so another good one. Great profile picture. But yeah, with their white outline is so good. And then, SEO Sherpa, like, I've seen SEO Sherpa around for a long time. I'm very familiar with them. So, that I will remember that. The other thing in here, he's got Global Search Awards Best Large SEO. So if I read that once, like, I'm gonna, after a few times you see it more and more and more, you then remember, it'll stand out more. So your brain's looking for shortcuts all the time for things, and it's trying to look for interesting things in this feed. Studio Hawk, that's another one, has a lot of feed salience and SEO. You're going to stop and read. So I think feed salience is really important to try and develop, and it's not just from posting content, although you can be strategic with your content to build more feed salience. But there's other things you can do, like going on podcasts. I call it brand hacking, where you basically align yourself with people that have a lot of feed salience or have a very reputable brand. Speaking at an event, like I mentioned on 3 calls ago, like that's super important. Speaking at events, nurturing people via a newsletter, like building these fans, engaging in private groups. Like these are all things you can do to build more feed salience, and I think everyone should be doing it in combination with running their typical LinkedIn campaign. So yeah, that's feed salience. See you tomorrow.